Just over the Great Dividing Range, north of Melbourne, lies the little township of Narbethong. Through most of the year, this town carries on with its own way of life, with only the weekend passing traffic briefly adding to its tiny population. But on one weekend each year, the Cross Country Jeep Club holds its infamous get-together, where up to 500 four-wheel drive vehicles migrate to the area from all over Victoria and interstate. Some 31 four-wheel drive clubs are invited here each year, and their reasons for attending are as varied as the vehicles they come in. The get-together is held on a property known as Valley Farm, the home of the Cross Country Jeep Club. This 8-acre camping area is used by the Jeep Club throughout the year, and during the last decade, club members have transformed this former swamp into a well-laid-out base for club activities. This year, many enthusiastic campers arrived on the Friday. So, when Saturday dawned, the Friday night campers awoke to even more arrivals to Tent City. Acquiring a suitable campsite and erecting their tents was the first chore. Even at this early hour, locating a clear space was not an easy task, as already over 300 people had arrived. While some laboured on pitching their tents in the crisp morning air, others were already set up and enjoying a hearty breakfast. As the early morning mist cleared, it was obvious that this was to be a popular venue for the four-wheel drive fraternity, and evidence of Friday night's revelry showed promise of a good weekend ahead. With all age groups catered for, Saturday morning was left completely up to the individual. It was a time to get to know new neighbours and renew old acquaintances.
We'll go to Marysville.
Simply enjoying a quiet chat in the autumn sunshine or indulging in a cold ale were both very popular ways of spending the morning. This year, new club rooms were opened for the first time, and an information centre was established, handling many inquiries about the weekend's activities. Many trips were organised through the local hills surrounding Narbethong. The trips were of varying degrees of difficulty, and the choice, again, was up to the individual. In some cases, the different groups linked up with each other midway, so convoys of 30 or more vehicles became quite common. Most trips were of 2 to 3 hours duration, and as expected, proved a little too difficult for a few. Others who preferred the lighter side of four-wheel driving headed off through the well-known Blue Track to arrive at the very popular Clay Pit. Here at the Clay Pit, hundreds of four-wheel drivers over the years have tested their skills at steep bank climbing. This clay pit was formed by the Country Roads Board when upgrading the nearby Marysville Road, and has proved very popular with all visiting four-wheel drivers to this area. After lunch on Saturday saw the time trials of a fairly new addition to the get-together program. It's been based on the same concept as the already established tractor pulls in northern Victoria and has been affectionately called the Mongrel Pull by the Jeep Club. This is only the second year of the Mongrel, and it's already proved to be a feature event of the weekend.
Have you crossed what 4 years?
Vehicles are grouped into various classes depending on weight and motor capacity. The name of the game is to pull the mongrel sled further than anyone else in the same class.
Hang on, Dave, hold it.
What is it stays in the same spot?
The next name club is another James 500.
The mongrel itself was constructed by members of the Cross Country Jeep Club, specifically for four-wheel drive vehicles. With a heavy weight moving forward as the vehicles gained momentum, spectators were given an entertaining afternoon. The winners of the various heats competed later on Saturday night in a floodlight series of finals. After the mongrel pull in the late afternoon, it was time to return to camp and enjoy a monster barbecue put on by the host Jeep Club. At each get-together, the Cross Country Jeep Club has provided an excellent meal for all visitors, and the Saturday night in 1984 was no exception. Over 800 people were catered for on the giant barbecues. Whilst the men were cooking outside, the lady members were serving a first-class lineup of salads from the infamous town hall.
Thank you.
I knew some of them photographers and that are pretty good looking fellas too, aren't they?
By the time the last of the guests had received their meals, nightfall had ascended and the various campfires sprang into life.
When's the night run?
Tonight?
No, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, isn't it?
Sunday night.
Yeah. All the boozers on the night run. Only 10 cars though.
I wonder who'll be there.
Yeah.
Put your hand down. It's as if the sun's shining.
It's like a big kerosene.
Discussions on the day's activities and what was to unfold on Sunday continued into the wee small
That's what I
hours.
thought then, to get the kerosene one instead.
As the early morning light filtered through the trees of Valley Farm, people were already up and preparing for breakfast. Many were anxious, and no doubt others were nervous, for it was the day that the Bog-Ole, the main feature of the get-together and the premier four-wheel driving event held in Victoria, was to take place. Preparation at the Bog-Ole had been carried out over the preceding months, with some 250,000 gallons of water pumped over the course. This normally quiet swamp area of Valley Farm was soon to become besieged by man and machine, with a battle against the elements and the clock. The reward for the fastest man and machine through the mud was the Cross Country Jeep Club of Victoria's prestigious Bog-Ole Perpetual Trophy. Although the Cross Country Jeep Club was formed back in 1967, the get-together weekends and Bog-Ole events commenced in '74, when 4 other clubs were invited to Valley Farm. From those meagre beginnings, 1984 saw the largest crowd ever to attend Valley Farm. The Bog-Ole, the ultimate test of man's skill against the clock. This year, the course was set to run from the top of the bank, along the main straight, into the deep lake formation where the Bog-Ole derived its name. With the record entries this year, it was predicted that times were to be very close, providing very fast and competitive action for the large crowd who had gathered.
Well, we have an air of anticipation here this morning as the vehicles are preparing to indulge in what is probably one of the hardest courses in Victoria for any four-wheel drive vehicle. You will see here that the first of the vehicles is having a trial run through, and the depth of water is so critical that if the vehicles are not properly prepared, they are doomed not to make it any further. This particular vehicle is fitted with diff locks, and he's going very, very well here. The depth of the water along this part of the course is very, very deep, and this bank here is what is going to make or break any competitor's ability to complete the course. As we see here, he's having a bit of trouble now. He's over that hump. That hump was put in there to retain the water and soften the course up, and it's certainly done that, as you can see. But he's doing a creditable performance here. If he can just keep moving the vehicle, he has the opportunity of breaking that bank down and thus giving himself a chance to get right through. It is a fact that the earlier vehicles that take this course on will have the biggest job. As they proceed through the course of the day, the bottom will slowly be dug to a hard surface, and the vehicles will improve in their performances, and we should see some very entertaining runs here this afternoon. This vehicle, while some 2 foot 6 underwater, is still moving, and he's certainly not going to give up. But this seems to be indicative of most four-wheel drivers. Their determination is just incredible. There you are. Well, he's out of the hardest part now, and all he's got to do is get the vehicle out of the water, and he'll be right. Just look at the depth, look at that water. Now we have a Nissan Patrol, a fairly late model. It would be interesting to know what goes through the driver's mind at this point when the vehicle refuses to go either backwards or forwards. It must be a terribly frustrating thing. When all else fails, there's always a rope to pull you out.
Open the door!
He's going to get I reckon they're possessed.
Give him around, he can try out. Kevin Jarvis, Subaru Club and a Daihatsu. Bring it out, Kevin.
Our next competitor is Kevin Jarvis in a Daihatsu from the Subaru Club. The little Subarus are quite a capable little performer. They're only very narrow in the wheelbase, but this is sometimes what just makes the difference between the bigger vehicles whose wheels are honed out of course, and the little Subaru seems to be able to ride along the crown of that course. And look at the depth of that water. He's just doing a marvellous job here. His headlights right under, and he's still going very well. It's this bank at the bottom end here that does seem to sort them out a bit. He's still going quite well. His next test will be up and over that hump there. There's a bad spot in there somewhere, and it's no, he's through that quite well. Oh, hang on to it there, boy. One would wonder where one's heart was at that stage. Oh, it's a shame. He hasn't been able to just get that final little bit of speed up, which is necessary to get the smaller vehicles up over that last bank. It's a very hard part to get up over. But he's done it. Well, that was quite a good little run. He must be feeling pretty proud of his little Daihatsu.
Up the top there, we're going to use our stop and go lights from the Explorer Club. Hey, Gotti, in a Toyota. When you're ready, go.
The next one is Alan Godding from the Toyota with from the Explorer four-wheel drive club. These are a relatively new vehicle to the four-wheel drive scene. The Toyota Hilux is a very, very capable performer. It's got a good run up down the bottom section now, and the depth of water is what seems to pull them right up. It's an amazing thing to think that these engines are capable of still running under this depth of water. The preparation that these fellas put in is really great. And the big benefit, of course, from all this is the fact that when they go out on a trip, they do know what their vehicle's capabilities are, and they know that their waterproofing is adequate to be safe and satisfactory for the job ahead. And he's going very well. It's this bank down here that's going to give him the trouble, I think. No, he's got it over that one too. He's going very well indeed. There's a very bad hole just there near that tree, which is going to need some watching during the day, I think. Now's the hard part. If he can keep him moving up over that bank, he'll be right. There's that need for momentum to get up over that high crest there, and it's very difficult to get momentum when you've got all four wheels stuck in the mud. Yes, he's got it over. A little bit of enthusiasm there. It's around there, he'll be right. We've got a little Suzuki here with a 3-cylinder Mark Watson driving. It's Mark's from the Suzuki Club, and he's listen to the noise of that engine. It's just incredible. Mark's feels a paddle might be a bit of help. If noise has got anything to do with performance, I don't think there's any doubt that this fella's going to get his vehicle around there. Getting some directions from his co-pilot there as to which way to go. Preferably straight ahead. Notice the drivers keep spinning the wheel from side to side in an endeavour to get a grip on either side of the trench that they're running down. The little vehicle's got dual wheels on the back there, and that's giving them a little added attraction. He's up over the hardest part, that bank, and all he's got to do now is get a bit of momentum up, and it looks like he's opting to get up on a bit of hard ground, which could be a bit dangerous. No, he's got through. Oh, he's still on his wheels. He's going all right. If he gets up over this bank, he's home and hose. Hose probably being the operative word. He's around the corner. He's only got a few feet to go, and he's out on a very good little run. It appears we all have our problems. Looks like the overflow from the Bog-Ole is running into someone's tent there, and that's causing a few problems. But never mind, there's not much can't be resolved with a shovel.
Yeah, sorry, with Dale Tucker.
As you can see, it's a very pretty setting here, and the crowd have got a good vantage point. I think full credit to the organisation of the club that's hosting this event. They've got the control very well under surveillance, and everybody can see. Some of us do get things in our eyes at times, but never mind. Looks like we have another Hilux ready to come through. Hiluxes have become a very, very popular vehicle. They perform very well. They're economical. I think they give a fair degree of driver comfort, and are priced at a reasonable price. So, plus they've got the advantage of so many variations. And it looks like we've got someone who's not frightened to give it a bit of a stir here either. He's going for broke on this one. Very tight around that corner there. And you'll probably find that my anticipation is correct. The Hilux will come through this section where the Nissan's bogged without much trouble, because he's a little narrower in the wheelbase. So he's picked a new course too, and that's what's made a big difference. He takes a very great risk, of course, but he's made it through, and that's what it's all about. This is what we say about anticipation and a bit of study of the course before you go round. He's picked a line where he thought he would get through, and he's proved that he could do just that. This little Jeep is powered by a 351 V8. Trevor's been at this caper for a while, and he's not frightened to give it a go. I'm not sure whether he's actually floating or driving on the bottom here at this stage. He's still going though. Look at that bow wave. I think the Bass Trader would be proud to have that. There's nothing like the sing of a V8, is there? Right, we've got a Toyota Land Cruiser this time. I'm not sure this might be the first of the Land Cruisers through. You notice the blanket on the front again to keep the water out of the engine compartment. The modern motor cars come a long way in the engine compartment as far as waterproofing is concerned. Most of the four-wheel drives now are very well designed in this area. A lot of them go through this Bog-Ole, or I've seen them go through virtually stock standard. I mean, the water is a little deeper than expected this year, but they still perform very well. Got his air cleaner out the side there with the large pipe up. Still going along quite well. He's well, he's out of that hard, deep part of water. It'll be interesting to see how he comes through this next corner where the Nissans have been getting stuck. But just the difference in the vehicles, the structural design underneath, but it may make a difference. You see, he's virtually gone over that as if it wasn't even a virtually non-stop run so far. Now, I think you notice that small projection of bumper bar down below the main bar? Just on the bottom of the bumper, he's got a section there. That's what's been fouling a lot of the vehicles up. Yes, he's got it out. That bumper would have honed quite a bit off that course there now, and you'll find that each progressive vehicle will find it a little easier to get over that part. Right, we've got another Series 1 Land Rover here that's got an idea this one's been through this cape a couple of times before. Sounds like it's only got the 4 cylinders of a standard Land Rover though, just the same. Fairly capable machine in its own right, the little Land Rover. It lacks a little bit of power, but everything is very well matched to the vehicle. The gearing and the tyre size and everything does very well. He's going along quite well. He's around the hard part. If he gets through here, he'll be looking good. Yes, he's up and over that nasty piece, which is very good. Opting for a higher line around there. This is what he's testing. He gets up over there. The engine's running well, and you notice that makes a big difference. Oh, hang on, boys. She's jumped out of gear. You'll find one there in a minute. Yeah, that one might do. No, I'll try another one. Ah, she jumped out of neutral in the transfer case, I suspect. This vehicle that's coming, this Toyota that's coming through now has got a 350 Chev V8 with an automatic transmission. It's a turbo 350, I think. A lot of power. He may just finish up drowning himself. Still performing, going well. The big engines all help. No, it may appear he's picked a bad line there, and that's very, very important, as we were saying before, to pick the right line through the course, because it's been well honed out on the bottom now. He's making progress, but it's taken his initial inertia away, which is going to destroy his time. Still moving though. This is where big engines and big wheels are a decided advantage. I don't think it matters what the result's going to be. It's obvious the driver's having a hell of a lot of fun. Written determination shows on the face. He's up and over the bad bit, so he's home and hosed now, I'd suggest. We've got one of the more colourful participants in this activity. Brian's renowned for really giving it heaps. He's not frightened to lay into it. He's probably one of the most colourful characters we have in this four-wheel drive business, and his vehicle's always very well prepared. He tends to make light of the activities, but his vehicle really fails him. The little Jeep, it's probably been through this Bog-Ole more times than any other vehicle, and very rarely fails to do well. If I was to make a prediction, which I probably shouldn't, I would say that the vehicle that beats Brian around this course will be the one that will win the event. The Jeep just managed to pick the wrong part of the course there. You've got to agree that no, there wouldn't be too many volunteers to ride with Brian. If anybody will get it up out of there, it'll be Brian. Yes, he's got it up. Brian will consider that to have been a lot of fun. Now we have the little Suzuki driven by Greg Judd. Greg's done a lot of preparation on this vehicle. I was speaking to him earlier this morning and he said he was going to give it heaps. Now we'll just see how Greg goes. He's going down that wet part there. It's getting quite cut up now underneath, and the vehicles, you'll notice, are making a little better time down that section of the track, and Greg's obviously going to make the best of the easier going around the bottom end here, and he'll wind up a bit of momentum, but let's see how he goes. He's going quite well. Yes, he's doing very well here. Hello, hello, he's gone. He's over. He's turned it right over. He's picked the high part of the course there, and he's tipped the damn thing right over now. I see the fellas are on the scene fairly quickly, and let's hope there's been no one hurt here. I don't think there will be. That's his passengers out, and she seems to be quite okay. It's good to see people on the scene very quick. Hello, here comes Greg. He's quite happy with the situation. He reckons that was a bit of all right. Now it's a matter of getting his vehicle back on the track. Let's hope he hasn't done any damage, because it's not the idea of this weekend to do damage to vehicles. Greg's having a bit of a sorrowful look there and a puff of the cigarette just to keep his pecker up. But well, there's enough there to carry it back out, so I don't think there's going to be too much trouble. I'd suggest his passenger's not all that thrilled about the whole situation. She's going to have to wash it. They're going to hook a cable on now, I think, and just draw it forward until it's in a safe position to right again.
Did you get a good one?
One of the rules, of course, is that the driver's got to get down and do the dirty work, even though he did tip it over. It's at times like this when there's always plenty of advice. Of course, everybody in the crowd knows the right way to do this job, and but I think the club that's running it's got things pretty well in hand, and you will notice that they were on the scene fairly quick. The latter now are keeping it up onto the high part of that bank, and it looks like Greg's done a tyre on the front there. That may have had something to do with it. He would have hit the bank. Being tubeless wheels, they hit the bank and it just knocks the air straight out of them, and then he loses his control.
I don't have to worry about going yourself up there, do I? Yeah, you're going to use me, you. All right. I reckon it's...
Greg doesn't look too unhappy about the whole thing. He's had a good day's entertainment, and he's quite happy, I'd say. His little vehicle's on its wheels, and the crowd's appreciative. It's these sorts of things that make for a day. Brian and Warwick, you've just come out of that what I could only describe as a magnificent trip around the course there. Tell me, what makes you want to do such a thing and get so dirty? It certainly seems to me to be an odd way to have fun.
Some people collect stamps for fun. We like doing this. What do you reckon, Warwick?
Yeah. All you got to do was hold up the pipe, but
Charge system.
oh, and the supercharger system.
He blows in it when we get into difficulty.
Yeah.
Right. What sort of a thrill is it to drive through mud that deep?
I know, can't see.
I guess that's a pretty fair comment. Well, I see you having a couple of cans there and going to enjoy it. Now, you're having a run again this afternoon?
Hope so.
Well, we look forward to another fine performance. Thanks, fellas.
Yeah, George.
Thank you, George.
This is we've got a young lady driving here, and I'm not sure that the engine's not running anymore, and she's having a bit of trouble, but I'm sure there'll be some men to the rescue any minute now. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Arthur Dunga mightn't go in and just offer a hand here. Perhaps we can have a chat to Arthur. Come on.
Good on you, Arthur.
John's a Hilux driver, and he certainly got into that. He's almost ring-barked a tree there on the way through, but he's got it going again now, and he's stirred up there and probably could have set him back a little bit. That he's around that hard part. That John's been a pretty good competitor in all these sorts of events, and this particular vehicle's got a cross-flow Falcon motor in it. Obviously got a lot of power, but obviously not quite enough. You'll notice the way the front end buried down there when he put it in reverse. It just literally threw the mud right out of the way and down it went. Still posing the hardest, most difficult part of the course just there. Over that and away he goes. It's interesting to note how unwieldy the vehicle is because of its size. Certainly heaps of power, as you can hear there. The water gets over that bonnet, we're all in all sorts of trouble. I can almost feel the frustration for Sid as it sinks into the sunset. I don't think he'll ever run out of momentum, but hello, she's snuffed. Dave, what do you think's probably been Sid's problem there?
He's still going, like he's...
It might appear like the engine doesn't want to rev. No, I'll have to take that back.
Water in the fuel, I think, George.
Yes, as Dave's just suggested there, he might have a little bit of water in the fuel. I couldn't imagine where he would have got it from, but however, she's not too keen to go too far. You know, the incredible thing is he touches the starter and the wheels revolve. It's because it's an automatic and there's nothing to... as soon as the engine revs pick up, the vehicle moves. Poor old Sid, he must be feeling very disappointed. I'd hate to be listening to what he's saying to his co-passenger there.
She got wet. Driving on the starter button.
The way it's starting and stopping, it goes while he's got his finger on the button, which might indicate that the his 12-volt system's working, but his 8-volt system on the starting off. He's got it going now, and he's really giving it heaps. Very big vehicle to get around that course.
The next competitor from the G Club is Johnny Wallace, and his co-driver is Kevin Jeffries. We're a couple of swells, it looks like, dressed up in their right attire. John's a hometown boy. He usually puts on a good performance. Cross our fingers.
Right, we've got a couple of colourful characters here. Arthur Duggan's been up there lending a hand to the dress of these two fellas. Wally is another identity. He wants a completely clear track. Wally's got his top hat and tails on there, and he's. It always amazes me that people are prepared to go to so much trouble to provide a bit of entertainment. Kevin there with a smile on his face. He's got the bow tie on, and they're off and running. There's nothing else they're going to prove to be quite, Wally's lost his hat, could prove to be quite serious here. Giving them heaps of water here, and it's tremendous to see these two fellas go to so much trouble to provide a bit of entertainment. You can hear that V8 singing in there, and it's really putting up a good performance. They make light of it, but like everybody else, they're deadly serious just the same. They like to perform very well. Having a chat about the situation here as they go through. Dave, there seems to be a spot just there that's been snagging a lot of the vehicles this morning. I rather feel maybe we've got a big block underneath.
Oh, we're just a bank of dirt, I think, George. It's not an even bottom ground terrain.
Kevin seems to be quite pleased with that there. He's
That's good. A good clean run. He's gone right straight through, no stops.
Yes. It's terribly important that the vehicle doesn't lose any momentum as it goes around the course here. That's what sort of gives us a good final run. It's a good performance.
A lot of preparation, I'd say, going to get a vehicle to that stage.
Yes, we know the boys, of course, and they do take it quite seriously. They've spent quite a bit of time on it this morning, and that's what's so disappointing when you see someone enter the Bog-Ole and then find that their vehicle fails. The Range Rover with a pretty large set of wheels on it, Dave. It's a bit unusual to see Range Rovers fitted with such big wheels.
They've got a fairly large sort of motor in this too.
This is not a standard Range Rover motor, I take it?
No, it's the P76 Lana motor.
Is that the engine they use in the trucks?
Yes, but it's tuned up considerably from a truck configuration.
Right, the truck, of course, is designed for heavy pulling, whereas this is designed for better performance, isn't it?
Yeah, been around for a long while, Johnny, with one of the original members of the Jeep Club.
Right.
And this is basically what he's driving now.
It's interesting to note that the driver's side front wheel has got no air in it, as far as I can see. I think he's lost a tyre there somewhere. If there may be a chance to get a look at that wheel as he comes out,
No, it must be working because the
front wheel has got no air in the tyre. Yes, that's right. He's got nothing at all there. Actually driving on a wheel with no air in it. Oh, that's one of the reasons he couldn't see. The wipers weren't on. I think someone's offering a suggestion that he's got a flat tyre there. It must be hell to have someone offering suggestions to you while you're having all this trouble. It must be a real problem to four-wheel drivers in the bush, this sort of thing, brushing tyres off on the sides, and particularly when you put big wheels on.
It can be, but normally you don't have to deflate a radial as much as you do a conventional, but people are sort of deflating tyres to get the maximum traction in this situation, in which case they do tend to pop off the rim.
Yeah. This, of course, has got a lot to do with the manufacturer's design of the vehicle and keeping the wheels inside the body line, hasn't it?
Well, I don't go along with that. I would much prefer the vehicles outside the body line. It's easy to does less damage bumping a bank with a tyre than it does bumping a bank with a body panel.
Well, there's an interesting theory. I guess tyres these days are nearly cheaper than body panels, so it may be better to dent a panel than lose a wheel.
The interesting thing about this, George, is it's still spinning the left-hand front wheel, even though the tyre is off the rim on the right-hand side.
Well, we can see it very clearly.
It's still turning tyre and rim and getting traction on both front wheels.
Yes, that's right. It's an incredible thing that obviously all the weight of the vehicle on the bottom of the tyre there is what's giving the drive. Although it's not just, as I see that, if that's
It's both
two
side front
wheels,
tyres.
that's incredible. He's
Is-
done both front wheels here, and yet the vehicle is still capable of moving. What a disappointment for John, and not what a lot of hard work he's got in front of him, of course. All right, well, we thank Dave for coming in for that few moments there. Dave, thanks very much for your...
All right, George, we'll get back and do a bit more work.
Okay.
The drivers down at the exit of the Bog-Ole have got a lot of vehicles backed up there. Could you please move them out of the way? It's making it hard to clear this exit area. Immediately, please.
There's just ordinary wheels here again, and just that little bit of momentum is what's required. He's lost it, right? He's going to be hard pressed to recover from that point, I think. The only thing you can hope to get you through at that point there is a bit of momentum, and if you can get it going. I've got here with me Sid, who drove the big Toyota that went through just a while ago. Sid, what seems to be the problem at that point, do you think? Is it the steepness of the bank, or do you think it must be cut away fairly badly there?
It's cut up where the tyres are. It's fairly severe.
Right.
And you've got to give it heaps of acceleration from about where he is now, flat to the floor to get through it.
In other words, it needs a lot of momentum to
Yeah, to get up that's because it's pretty severe though.
They just don't seem to be able to pull it up over there, do they?
That's going to be the hardest part to get through there in the finals.
If you obviously you give me a quite unbiased opinion here, but what vehicle do you expect is going to have the best performance this afternoon?
Well, Wally's cheap with the 350 in it.
Right.
He's ready for engine rebuild, so he doesn't care. So the pedal to the metal.
That's obviously got to mean another couple of thousand revs, I suppose.
Yes, and Mick Scott, he should be on next. This 350 is an Army Jeep. He won it last year with a 6-cylinder motor in it.
Yes, that's right. He did too. He's
And
a very good performer.
he wants to win it 2 years in a row.
Right. Well, that's good. The Toyota just seems to lack that little bit of ground clearance there, doesn't it, to get up and over?
Yeah.
Sid, when you're going around there, what sort of goes through your mind as you're driving along there? I mean, it's got nothing to do with driving down the highway. It's an entirely different feeling. What just ticks over in your mind?
The main thing is just to try and hang on to the steering wheel and sort of try and stay on the track because they bounce up that bad. It's very hard to control.
The steering wheel gets pretty heavy in the hand, I would expect.
Yeah, and get very wet, so it's slippery.
Well, he's got the vehicle up over there, and that's a good effort. He's worked hard at that, and that's it's all a matter of endeavour, I think, to force a vehicle up. Sorry, they'd Sid to cut away from you, but that takes a lot of effort, doesn't it, to get a vehicle backwards and forwards. I mean, we get it to a point where it's stuck, and then to get it out of there and get it up over that embankment was a pretty good effort. All right, we've got another one of our more colourful characters here. I see Mick's having a little bit of fortification there. Mick was the winner of this event last year, and he's, well, it's only a little baby vehicle. It's got a ton of heart. It's got a 350 Chev in it, and it's all Toyota running gear. And Mick's not opposed to giving it a few revs on it. One could say Mick's a bit heavy in the foot department too. You can see he's performing very, very well.
If he doesn't stop in the water, he'll be very hard on the beat.
Yeah, well, they are. Sid feels that Mick could be one of the contenders for the best time around the course this afternoon. His coonskin hat there is keeping the rain out, and the little Jeep is really going. If we're talking about hanging onto that steering wheel, you've really got to work head over the eyes. Although, what a pity, but he struck that same snag that we were doing. You notice as the day's going on, that rut there is getting quite deep now. Do you think this is going to affect the vehicles later on this afternoon? I'll go around straight over that.
Well, there's nothing much we can do. We'll just have to keep trying to get over it.
It has been a tendency in other years that bank has become easier and easier to negotiate, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. It's got plenty of torque, that little machine, with the 350 in it. This is going to be interesting to see now. I've been running the big tyres on mine. I had no trouble getting up that part. Now he's running the standard ones. Everybody advised me not to use the big ones. So it'll be interesting to see again which ones get through.
Yes, well, there's a comment that's sort of worth noting, that the two vehicles have got grossly different sized wheels. The little Jeep has only got quite small wheels, I'd say 716s.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Toyota we saw before with the very big 35-inch high wheels. There's probably a difference of 4 to 6 inches in the ground clearance of these two vehicles. There's a bit of strategy discussion going on there. What do you think they might be saying at this stage?
I wouldn't like to say it over air.
Perhaps we shouldn't say that. Looks like might have a little bit of a transmission problem there, perhaps. He seems to have a worried look on his face.
So that's only a new vehicle too. It's only just been sorted in the last couple of days. Virtually not even. That hose over the back of the roll bar there, that's his air cleaner.
It's vital that he doesn't get the air in the engine, isn't it? That's what's going to wreck it.
Yeah. He'll keep going till he gets through.
That's a pity for Mick, because his little Jeep doesn't usually fail him like that. And, I think it's only because that bank at the end has been so well honed down now that anything that hasn't got a bit of ground clearance has got its share of problems. Mick's opted for an alternative course.
Lighter track.
And a bit easier going. It does tend to prove that there's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess.
Yeah. He might have had a little bit of trouble with something.
Yeah, so Sid was just saying there that he feels perhaps Mick's had a little problem there with the car in some way, and I'm sure he'll sort it out and be ready to go again this afternoon. Now, here's a rare opportunity to have a ride in a Range Rover and just see what it's like from the other side of the screen. As you can see, it's a rather terrifying experience to look down 3 or 4 feet of water coming up over the front of the car. Incidentally, this is the Range Rover that we had the trouble with the tyres with before. Johnny Knowles from the Jeep Club has got his wheels back together, and he's taking our cameraman around now to let you see what it's like from the inside. It appeared that John would be happier with this roll than he was in the first place. This is that deep, rutty part, and he's up over that, it appears. You can see the crowd's very appreciative. Well, folks, now's the time that we've all been waiting for. We can see by the crowd around us here that there's an air of anticipation. The first of the vehicles are now lining up for this, the final of the Bog-Ole competition. There has been a slight modification to the track. We've had a dozer in here and we've taken one of the sharp banks away, and it's anticipated we'll see some very good, very clean and very quick runs here this afternoon. The track's looking exceptionally mean, and one of the things that will really pull back only the weakest of machines. So we're looking forward to some really good entertainment here this afternoon. The first vehicle on the mark is a Subaru Club Entrant. It's a little Daihatsu, and it's being driven by Kevin Davies.
From the Subaru Club, Kevin Jarvis in a Daihatsu. He did very good this morning. Are you ready to roll him up there, Ray?
Right, we're off and running, and there's our first little Daihatsu. He's doing a fairly good job down the hill. This is where the little engines do seem to struggle a bit because they need the power to push through that water. Around the corner. This has been one of the more difficult corners here, just there in that hole. It's caused a lot of trouble this morning, but it appears like he is through it. Yes, he's going very well. Well off the ground there. This is negotiating one of the most difficult parts of the course, and away he goes. He's only got to come out now at the end here, and he should have a fairly good time. Well, he's made it out. That's a very good performance. Our next contestant is a Toyota Hilux. This vehicle has got a cross-flow Falcon engine in it. John has been around for a while and is a fairly good performer. I'm sure we'll see a maximum effort from this driver. Right, John's away now. This is the lad that's not trying to put the foot down. You've got to be very careful here. He's down, he's back in the drain again. He's all right. He's got it going all right. He's wound the window up to keep the rain out. He's pushing it quite well through there. This is the part that needs to be really maximum effort out of the bank there. He's around down the drain now. He's going quite well. This could be a fairly good time. And there's what happens even in the best of regulated circles. He's got it started again. But I'm afraid that the vehicle that wins this event can't afford to have one hitch whatsoever. It's quite amazing that that vehicle's been able to start and carry on again there, because once the water gets in, it's usually difficult to get a performance out of the vehicle. He's going quite quick down the wall. That didn't sound good. That didn't sound good at all. He's got the wipers going, and he may have been stuck there. He's down over the bank though. He's away again. Very tight for a long wheelbase vehicle to get around that particular corner there. He's done quite a good job. Our next vehicle fronting up there is a Series 2 Land Rover, being driven by C. Howe from the Land Rover Owners Club. It's worth noting that this particular vehicle is a stock standard Land Rover, and its performance this morning was quite good. We'll see how it goes this afternoon. Needs a fair amount of care coming down that hill there, because there are some very deep ruts, as you can see from here. And the slightest misjudgment and calculation can be very serious. It appears that this event could be won and lost in this run down through the water, because it's a situation where the vehicles with the big horsepowers are able to surge through the water, whereas the smaller engines are not don't have the power to push through. As far as traction is concerned, the Land Rover does a very good job. It's only got standard wheels and better him than me. That's the difficult part. You can see the crowd. They're appreciative of a good performance. Oh, he'll be well pleased. He went all the way around without a hesitation. You can almost see the tension on some of the people's faces. They watch this event. It's they're thinking to themselves, why would anybody want to do that to a perfectly good motor car? However, each of us have our own sport. Our next one is a Yarra Valley Club entrant, and the driver is Tony Bansack. Tony's driving a current model Toyota station wagon, which has a fairly wide investment. There's money in there, but he's obviously not going to do too much damage to it if he can help it. You've got to be very careful with the long wheelbase on that corner, because if they run the front wheel up on the bank, they run the very great risk of flipping it over. He's doing a good job though, just the same. As you can see, that the water here is virtually surging right up over the top of the airplaner, and that's the reason for the protective covering over the front, because if they've got water in the engine, it could be the end of thousands of dollars worth of motor car. It's going very well. Not quick, but well. Well, yes, he's got it over. He's decided to give it a bit more horsepower, I think. He's only been playing. The difficulty of where he is now is that the backing up is going to cause a lot of problems for him, because he's running backwards and forwards in a channel which he's going to find difficult to get back out of. Now, the only way we can get up over that bank is with a lot of momentum, and that's got to be gained by coming down that side of the course at a reasonably quick pace. And very few can start off from there and get back up over the bank. up. He's done it. He's got it. He's got it right up out of the drain. That's a bit of determination for you. He wasn't going to be beaten by anything. I guess this is where drivers learn a lot about their vehicle's capabilities, because they find the right revs, the right gear, and the right amount of tyre pressure to know just how to get the best out of their vehicles. And this is really what it's all about. It's an inter-club activity, and this is the place to get the real good knowledge of what their vehicles are capable of. The next one's a Hilux Ute. He's really going, this lad. Oh dear. I'm not sure that he's going any further, but he was going well for a start. One might say he's not as happy as he could be. She's had a flame out under the bonnet. This is the pity, of course, of all the preparations, and when it comes down to the crunch, she fails because of something quite simple. It's always amazing to me how these vehicles stand up to this punishment time after time after time. They've certainly been built for the job, there's no doubt about that. I'm sure when British Leyland first built these, they were never intended for this sort of usage, but there's been an awful lot of fun derived out of using it for this purpose. He's going very well too, just quietly. This is the part that tests them. Down through that hole there. He's over it. No, he's right. He's off and running. He's coming down the hard path. Now, if we can get him up over this bank, this is where he's got to need that, all that momentum he's got. If he doesn't have it, he's going to lose it. He's up. Yes, he's out. He's got it around. Now it's a matter of how long. You notice that the driver's really working on the steering wheel there. He's got a lot to do, and he's got to keep it right in the middle of that groove. That was a good effort. This vehicle's really got some power. This is a little Toyota Hilux. I think it's got a 302 V8 in it. It's obviously grossly overpowered for the size of the vehicle, but for this particular event it should perform very, very well. He's steaming it down the straight there now, and it sounds like there might be a little bit of engine hesitancy. Oh, he's in a dangerous situation there. If he gets over, he's going to have water coming in the window. No, he's recovered it. He's around. So terribly vital that they keep the vehicle in the middle of that track there. There's a honed course underwater there that they can't see. And if they don't keep it on it, they're liable to lose it at any time. He's doing quite well down the back. He needs this momentum up over this bank now, and he'll be right. She's died. No, she's still going, but he's lost that inertia. He's got it going again, and he's managed to keep her up. He's out of the main drain, but of course this is going to have affected his time fairly well. Now the Explorer's, the last time, the best time at this stage is 1:08.01 seconds, and that's the best time that's been recorded so far. That was the little Land Rover from the Explorer front. He's away. You've got to be very careful coming down this hill because it's a very small vehicle and you can't afford to get it off the wheel race. And he takes the risk every time he puts it out of the drains. But he's got it in there now and he's really poking it into it. You can hear the noise. It's something quite incredible. It just seems to rev and rev and rev and rev. It's incredible. Listen to it. It's going really well too. They're going for a great gun, these boys. They're nearly out at the top end. They're bouncing up and down in the seats. Anything that will give them a little bit of extra traction. It may only be psychological, but boy, look at them go. He's around. Oh, keep it on its wheels, boy. Keep it up, keep it up. He's right. He's got it back on the track. He's doing a great job. Now, if we can get a good run down this side here, he's going to have a great time. I don't know what the water in the door does, but he's going very well. Let's hope he doesn't hit the wrong bank. Oh, it's very close. I don't know why he didn't take that tree out. He's got it. He's up. Is he? Yes, he's over the bank. He's done a marvellous job. Listen to that crowd. They appreciate it. They know what it's all about. They're really right behind him. I'm sure he's running on adrenaline at this stage. He's out. What an incredible performance. He's done a fabulous job. Listen to that crowd. They know what it's all about. Look at him. Smiles all over. That's great stuff. It really is. Well, that was an incredible time. It was 1:15.3 seconds. Now, that's interesting because he's still not the best time. Now, little Suzuki here is the had a little bit of problem this morning. He's going to have to take it very careful. It's Fred Judd driving this, and Fred, as you may have noticed earlier in the day, had a slight mishap, and Fred's got quite a bit of trouble. We might try and have a chat to Fred later on and see what he's got to say about it. I don't know why he keeps doing these things. He's hang on to it, Fred. Keep it on its wheels, boy. Fred's going to steer very clear of this bit on here, I'm quite sure. Yes, he's right. He's past it this time. He's up over the bank, yes. Yeah, the crowd appreciable. Hang on, he's very, very dangerous there. It's a lot of slippage, and he's got to really keep his mind on the job. Well, she's just blown a tyre, I think. But he's not going to let that stop him. He's out, and it's a good, clean run. The next vehicle on the mark is at Hilux Club entry, driven by Dale Tucker. He's been giving a few instructions from the marshals, and he's coming down the hill now. That while it doesn't look as terribly steep, it's quite dangerous there, because if they hit the wheel ruts that we've just dropped into, they run the chance of flipping on their side, and of course every driver's mindful of the fact that he doesn't want to do that. He's going well down the main drain here now, and you'll notice the depth of the water is surging well over the bonnet. He's out. He's taken a wide berth around there. He runs the risk of sliding into the trees. This is the big worry. But he's clear. He's clear around the top end now. And if he can get through that drain, he's lost the momentum necessary there. I don't think he's going to go any further. I think he's got a broken front end. Yes. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think you better have a look at him, because something's gone very seriously wrong with his front end. Well, maybe the problem we have here with this Hilux may not be as serious as we think. We understand from what reports we've got back, what has happened is that the tyre has gone down and it's come off the rim, and that's why it's facing in another direction. Let's hope that's all it is, because that's not going to be too difficult to rectify. Looks like we're away again now, and this vehicle that's coming now is a Toyota Land Cruiser with a 350 V8 in it. It's driven by Daryl Pink, and Daryl's not frightened to give it a bit of a go, as you can see. He's really boring it into it. It's a bit of a life and death struggle, you would almost think, as he's going around the top end there. This combination of transmission and gearbox has only just been installed in this vehicle, and Daryl was obviously quite anxious to see how it's going to perform. And up until now, he'd have to be pretty happy, I'd say. He's doing a good run with Daryl. He's got to be very careful down that end there. The trouble is that they get off course, then they're flipped because they've got too much momentum up. And this is the great risk they take when they really go for it. You can see the expression on Daryl's face. He's really working at it, and quite well so too. He's done an excellent job, and he's got a very good time, I would suggest. He's out. Yes, he's out of the other end there now, and that's a pretty good time. Each driver seems to know this one's full. Evans, hang on to it, man. Keep it on the track. Each driver seems to know what he's got to beat, and he just gives it that little bit more. This is Les Harris from the Gippsland Club, and they're a fairly good bunch of stirrers down there, one way or another. He's around Yes, he's just about out of the top end there. This is what sinks them, this bit of water there. If he can get through there, he's right.
He's opposition.
Losing a lot of momentum around that top end. There's something there. See, he's had it. He's lost his traction. What a shame. He's going very well until he got to there. The next competitor is Trevor Golsack. Trevor's got a fairly potent engine in this car, and he'll rock it down here. Trevor's not frightened to give it a go. Oh, he's hit that bottom end pretty hard, but he's got through it all right. Not too hard now, Trevor. Just keep her in the drain zone. He's off down the side here. That's a 351 V8 engine for the fellas that are technically minded. He's going all right. He's got it stirred up pretty well. Got to get it out of that bottom end. This is the important thing. This is where they usually snuff it if there's too much water accumulated under the bottom. It sounds like she might have dropped a couple of cylinders, but she's still firing along all right. This is the next tricky part, over that bump, and if he gets it, keeps it moving. Yes, he's right, he's got it through there. No, he's lost it, what a shame. This is the one thing we can't afford to do, of course, is back up and have another bite, because the clock keeps going whether you're going backwards or forward. He's got it, is it? Yes, he's got it through. He's a bit of determination there. This is the bit we need now, up over the bank. Come on, Trevor, let's see what you can do. He's, no, what a shame. Yes, they've decided that they'll have to extract him. The idea is, of course, that if they're not going to be competitive in their final time, they just take them out and get the next vehicle lined up ready to go. This next competitor is Peter Luxon from the Explorer Club. Peter runs his own business and sells diff locks and sundry items for Toyotas and various vehicles. So he's very keen to see his vehicle do well, and he's going to be giving it plenty. He's had a couple of good performances this morning, and I understand this vehicle's turbocharged, so we can expect big things from it. Yes, and it's going to perform very well too, I think. He's stirring it up pretty well. You can hear that engine singing quite well. It doesn't sound quite like any other Toyota you might hear. It's around the top. This is the part that seems to give them most of the trouble here. If they can get over that and keep their momentum up, they stand a very good chance of coming up this bank, and he certainly appears to have a bit of momentum up. Evans, he's bashing it around there. See, what a shame, he's lost it there. The turbocharge seems to be hanging on. Is he going to pull it out, though? Is it going to? Yes, he's got it up over the bank. What an incredible effort, and boy, don't the crowd love it. Yes, he's right around the top end now, and I think he's going to have a very good time. Oh, he's hit the fence there. He's hit the fence, but I don't think anybody's been hurt, and there's been no damage done. That's great stuff. He's out, and that's a very good run. Now we've got Mick Scott in his little Jeep. This little Jeep's got a 350 Chev engine in it. And, it'll have the best of gear on it because Mick runs a performance centre in Dandenong, and he's going to give it plenty. Mick's not opposed to running a few revs in the bonnet, as you can well see. He's fighting with the wheel, but he's got it around the top. Hang on, Mick, you've got to keep it in the track, son. You've got to keep it on the wheels. He's up over the bad bump, and he's giving it heaps. Anticipation is the clouds of mud and crud are flying high. Oh, hang on, Mick, keep it going. Is he going to hone through? No, he's got that little bit of bad luck there. Look at that determination on his face, though. I'd love to know what's... Oh, well, there's an explanation for you. What'll we do now? What an incredible effort he made, though. If that had only been successful, he would have... It's that sort of a drive that's going to win this time, and someone's going to get around it. That sort of. Listen to the crowd. We'll have a try and have a chat to Mick later on. He's nothing to lose. What's he going to do now? He couldn't get any wetter. I don't know how. Probably a damn sight warmer in the water anyway. But these fellas, they really live it up and they really love it. And they're what makes this sport great. There's no doubt about that. You can see, you get a fairly good idea of the depth of that water there now. It's there must be 2 feet of water. He's taken it all in good sport. Well, at least he's moving in the right direction now. I hope he hasn't got to take his girlfriend home in this tonight, because he's not going to be terribly popular, is he? Although I dare say he'll have a wash. All right. He's trying to start it up, I think. Yes, he's got it started. He's blown about 4 gallons of water out the exhaust pipe. There you are, you can see it there quite clearly now, the water coming out as he's turning it over. Look at that. There must be an enormous amount of water goes up that exhaust pipe and fills those mufflers. No, he's decided he's not going to go on with it. Yeah, well, it looks like Mick feels it's going to drive off again now. He's not... they're disconnecting the winch cable, and he's going to complete the course under his own steam. Yes, she's off and running. You can hear that V8 start up there, and away he goes, just as if nothing's ever happened. The Gippsland Club. Barry's got a pretty mean-looking set of tyres on there. They're quite expensive. They're what they call Terra tyres. They're probably something like 18 inches wide, and they have an enormous amount of grip, and it does take a fairly powerful engine to turn them, actually. He's going quite well, though, and if he stops, it won't be because he lacks traction, that's for sure. He's going quite well. This is the part that seems to be killing them all, and if he gets up and over that, he's got a Datsun Patrol in the slot. It's a fairly late model Patrol. He's going quite well too. It sounds like it might be a petrol engine. Just while we've got a stall in proceedings here, I've got with me here Mick Scott, who was in the little Jeep that we just witnessed do an incredible thing. Mick, what did it feel like? What was your aim when you set off from the mark?
Well, I thought the only way that I would have any chance of winning it would be if I went flat out. I had a bit of a problem there earlier on with the clutch, but I thought if I got into that last straight and went flat out from there on, it would have been okay. But my bad luck in the day, and I melted out in the hole there. So I'll have to just have another go next year.
What actually happened, Mick? Did the vehicle lose traction, or was it a mechanical failure?
Just a mechanical failure. It's a bit of a problem that you get when vehicles are, like in water and that. The clutch gets a bit of water in it, and it loses friction, and you don't drive any further. Yeah. He's off and running. You've got to come down this hill very... Oh, hang on to it, Sid. He's on a very... Oh. Looks like Sid's going very well. No, he's lost. He's up off the bag. He's not even on the damn course. What about that, Mick? What do you think? He's run off the corner there? Yeah, Sid's overshot the runway a bit. I think he should have hung left a bit earlier. Would have been the go. Oh, now he's flat out now. He's right into it. Had a bit of a problem with the engine there earlier due to water getting into the ignition system. But I think we've put a live wire from the battery to the coil, which I think maybe the big wheels sort of give it the wrong direction.
It looks like Sid would prefer to go anywhere but down the centre of the course there. He's just had a bit of a chat with the tree, and now he's explaining to someone in no uncertain terms of things. And hello, he's lost his steering, I think. Yes, he's broken something in the steering. He's got all sorts of turning, but no action at the wheels. Looks like we're off and running again with another event, and this is a Toyota Hilux driven by A. Golding from the Explorer Club. The Hilux has performed very well. They're a fairly new vehicle into the four-wheel drive scene. The Land Cruiser, of course, has been around for quite a while, but the Hilux is fairly new, and they've done a remarkably good job. You can see you can almost see the vehicle bury itself as the wheels revolve there. It's very soft on the bottom there, and it takes a particularly good vehicle with a good driver and navigator to get them around successfully. Now we've got John Wallace. He's one of the earlier competitors who did a great job. John's one of the boys that's going to give it heaps, and I'm sure he'll put us on a good show here this afternoon. You can see the grit and determination on his face. If he gets down here at the pace he's going, he's going to be a very likely contender for the time here. He still seems to be going all right. We've said so many times before, it's important that they just keep moving, and I would suggest that perhaps John's moving just a little quicker than most so far. He's still going good. He's over the hard part. Now, if John can get a bit of a run up down here, his time's going to be pretty hard to beat, I think. Yes, he's obviously going all right. He's picked a high spot there, and he's up over that bank. Yes, he's over. This could be very interesting. He's got a good time so far, I think. If he can just get around this corner and go out without stopping, he'll have an excellent time. Yes, he's out. He's done a great job. Well, it looks like that's the time to beat. 58.31 seconds, and that's not a bad effort. I have with me now Tony Lester, who is the president of this club, and I'd just like to get Tony's views on how things have gone this afternoon. Tony, have you been satisfied with the results so far?
Well, just at this minute, I'm terribly excited because that's one of our own club entrants who's just turned in the best time. So after I've settled down after that little episode, yes, we're extremely happy with the weekend. It's gone just about according to plan. The weather's been kind to us. We've had a tremendous crowd of people here, and half of the enthusiasm that these drivers get is from the applause from the crowd. It is a spectator sport, and they're all thoroughly enjoying it today.
All right, Tony, thanks very much. We'll come back again. We've got a Toyota here now with the V8, and it sounds like she's had a little bit of ignition problem there because she's just fairly blowing the bags. But he's still got her steering along, and if he can get out of this top end, he might still have a chance of taking off a fairly good time. What do you think, Tony? Has he got a chance?
I think he has. He seems to have a bit of cannon fire in there. I'm not sure exactly how he's going to go along the back straight here. He seems to have come to a halt just at the moment.
Yes, that's what a pity there. He's lost his traction, or he's lost engine, and of course it's a one-shot attempt. And if he doesn't get around in the first go, well, then he's lost it. All right, this could prove to be one of the most interesting events of the afternoon. This one, Brian is renowned for giving it buggery, in his own words, and I'm sure that Brian will do everything within his power to beat John Wallace. Brian's little Jeep is probably the most experienced vehicle in this. Here he goes, and you can see his co-driver there is hanging onto the breather, and Brian's waving to the crowd as if there's just nothing to it. It's quite incredible, this man. He just thrives on the mud, and he's really going to give it to it. His little Jeep's humming as it goes past us here in the broadcast van, and he'll probably put his arm out and give it a paddle in a minute just for something to do. You can see Warwick, his passenger there, is hanging onto the Jeep. He's going to blow down that microphone. Brian's around the top end, and he's going to give John Wallace quite a run for his money. The little Jeep will come through this bit here without any hesitation. Yes, he's over it. This is going to be a really interesting piece of... Oh, what a shame. He's lost it there again, and that's where he got caught in the last time. I would hate to think what Brian's expression's going to be. He's having a chat to Warwick, and Warwick's blowing down the air cleaner to see if they can get a little more out of it. But the little Jeep, she's probably had enough for today, and... Brian's explaining the sad look on Brian's face, I think, just about tells it all. Well, fellas, there's not much we can do. She's not going to go, and that's all there is to it. We're on the last run now of the afternoon. It's Johnny Knowles, and he's driving a Range Rover with exceptionally big wheels on it. John's vehicle's quite a good performer. It's a Range Rover that it's had a fairly hard life and it seems to thrive on it. And John's not frightened to give it a bit of a poke. He's going quite well too. Oh, he's a bit close to the tree there, but he's fallen back into the trench, which is the main thing, and he's going to go well. I think John's vehicle will probably negotiate that bad bit there. Yes, he's over it. He's got a good run up now, and this is where he needs it. He needs to get that bit of surge over the bank here to get himself up out of the drain. He is, yes, he's got it over. This could be very interesting. We could have another change in the placings here. His vehicle's around the tight corner now. And he's out and over the bank, and this could be a very interesting time. Well done, John. You can see the crowd, they're quite appreciative. They know the times, and they've got a very good idea that this could be one of them.
Well, there it was, the 1984 Bog-Ole get-together. Congratulations go to the 3 place getters. The excitement of the day proved too much for those who couldn't resist the temptation to try the mud. The large attendance provided new friendships for some, and for others, a chance to reunite with the characters of the four-wheel drive fraternity. The hectic weekend's activities culminated, as always, in the gathering at the bonfire.